right, so we have Kelli Mildren with Spartan Surfaces in Chicago. I'm so happy we're doing this. I'm sorry yesterday didn't work out. We had a lot of fun, just no one saw us.
We did. I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Good.
It
Okay.
was a good time.
Well, Kelli, why don't you first introduce yourself and then we'll talk about where you're quarantining and stuff.
Sure. Like Tara said, my name is Kelli Mildren. I work with Spartan Surfaces, been part of the Spartan team for coming up on 4 years, but been in the Chicago market as a rep for coming up on almost 8 years, which is crazy.
Time flies.
And it's wild. Like I feel like but at the same time, I feel like I've been doing this forever. So,
Totally.
um, but anyways, yeah, I've been in the game for a while. And then just a little about Spartan, because if you're not familiar with who
Yeah.
Spartan is, we are a multi-line flooring rep group. But we've also gone vertical too. We're taking our name Spartan Surfaces a little literally these days. But we are in about 30 states right now, probably close to,
That's a lot.
yeah, yeah, 30 states right now, which is crazy. Started in Baltimore area. The DC, Baltimore, Philly area is still kind of like our home turf where Spartan really originated. But we've been growing into other metro areas, like you mentioned, Atlanta and Nashville and Miami and Chicago, of course, for the last 8 years or so. But yeah, I mean, we're a multi-line rep group, so we rep all different types of flooring, work on all different types of projects from healthcare, education, hospitality, multifamily, you name it. So
That's so awesome.
it's a, yeah, it is.
Where are you quarantining right now?
I'm quarantining at my house, and as I kind of explained in our one-on-one convo yesterday, it was great. That I left the city of Chicago about 6 months ago and hopped over the border to Northwest Indiana. So I've been here for about 6 months, doing a couple year stint here, and then heading back to my Chicago roots. But I am very thankful to have a house and a yard
I was
and
gonna
a deck.
What a good time for you to do that. That's perfect. You like showed me yesterday you were outside and you showed me the street and I was thinking about how like Wisteria Lane it looks. It looks right out of Desperate Housewives.
It's a nice little subdivision. It's great. And I would be a back out on the deck right now, but of course, like right before this call, the subdivision lawn care people came out and they have those riding mowers and
My
so we're inside right now. But yeah.
How far, okay, so especially for people not in the Chicagoland area, how far is that like of a commute for you into the city?
So Northwest Indiana is really treated like a Chicago suburb. So for those people that aren't familiar with like the geography here, for where I live right now, it takes me about anywhere between 45 minutes and an hour to get into the city. Of course, if there's really bad traffic or if I go in the height of rush hour, it could take me like an hour and a half. But it's
So
pretty
close.
much,
That's like
yeah,
almost any suburb in the Chicago area. That's really close.
yeah, exactly. So I'm over here and for the time being, but Chicago is still my full territory and I'm literally in the city most probably 4 of the 5 days a week. Well, these days I'm here, I'm homebound, but I'm usually at our showroom or in the city and bopping around
What's
to
your
the different firms.
favorite part of the Chicago market? Like, what about Chicago is like Chicago? We love it.
Man, Chicago is such an interesting market for design because we really have such a hub of design. I mean, you look at the merchandise mart, and we kind of use the analogy like the design world kind of circulates around the sun that is the mart, right? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, it's grown outside of the mart these days. We know like Fulton Market and all the different showrooms that have spread outside of that. But Chicago is really fortunate to have design at their fingertips. Almost every main manufacturer is has some sort of home there. And so when I go to other like large market cities and talk to designers there or hear from my colleagues, they're used to like samples getting there in 3 days, where it's like, if I have a designer that needs a sample that day, I better darn get it to her or him, because
yeah.
it's just competitive and it's fast paced and it's ever changing and moving and just cutting edge. And I just feel like our designers are just so cool. Like I'm definitely not as cool as them. You know, I'm always like walking in like, okay, try to be cool.
I know I'm not as cool as them either, so I just go with the weird factor, and I'm like, I'm
Yes,
weird. It's fine. Whatever.
totally same. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll make them laugh a little bit and take the
Totally.
attention off of me not being cool.
Yeah. Just like, just take me for what I am. I'm weird. It's fine.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, that's me.
I get, the more okay I am with like. So by the time I'm like 85, I'm gonna be like such a wackadoo.
You won't
Whatever.
be alone, so it's okay.
Good. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about COVID a little bit. Obviously, that's the topic right now of everyone. So you guys are lucky because you have so many lines. How many lines do you have? It's like an insane amount.
Yeah, so it varies from market to market, just based on what products we rep. But in Chicago, for example, I think I never know the number exactly, but I think we rep close to 50 manufacturers.
Wow,
Um,
that's a lot.
yeah,
If you think about most manufacturers have one, you guys have 50. That's crazy.
it keeps us on our toes. Like we are always like, I can't ever say I don't have something to learn. Like I've actually been using this time a lot to kind of do some studying myself on some of the different product lines, or like, oh hey, like I should really dive a little deeper into that category because I'm not that knowledgeable about everything. But
Really
it's
helped you with the like the COVID situation? Because like, can you talk a little bit about flooring and how like this industry has been impacted by it? And like, I'm curious to hear with so many different lines, like which lines are like being of more use right now? What's kind of happening with that like breadth and width that you have?
sure. So I think one of the huge benefits of our company, we've kind of been positioned for kind of different situations at any given time. And this is definitely one of those where, we are up against odd times and projects are either moving like super, super fast or on pause. But let's just say like healthcare application projects. There's been some things where I know colleagues of mine or even in the Chicago market where things are moving so rapidly. And as this whole um, climate is changing, it's like it's such a fast and quick and fluid situation that we need to be able to jump and say go and run as fast as we can and help our contractors. And so, with having so many lines, of course, we have really great suppliers and great relationships there. But we have, a lot in our bag to be able to offer, not just kind of like stuck on one product category or one line and being like, oh, we don't have that, or we have a lot of domestic manufacturers, a lot of domestic warehousing and stock. And really, I think the basic that it all backs up to is the relationships that we build. Um, this is Spartan really focuses on the relationship. Like that above anything is what we value. You'll hear our owner KJ say like we are in the relationship business and we just happen to sell floors. And that's really like the truth. That is how everybody here is. We are people, which is like killing most of us to be locked up and not talking to people every day.
People who don't like people are digging this. People who like people are like, ah.
I know, I know. So us extroverts or even people just like have connection, it's a little difficult, but we're really kind of falling back on some of those really strong relationships that we have and that we've built. And I think that's why we're in a unique situation to kind of do okay during these times and help other people and really try to help find some solutions for the given situations that are kind of ever changing right now.
Totally. It's so nice to hear, like you say, that a lot of projects are moving quickly because that's what we're really seeing across the country is there are a lot of projects even starting, which I think when you start to hear about like the doom and gloom, it's easy to get sucked down into everything stopping, but it's not true. There's a lot happening. So what are the project types that you're seeing really pick up or like move quickly? Does it just depend on what stage in design they were at, or are there certain markets that you're seeing really flag?
Of course, different healthcare applications that are needing kind of these, you've seen what's going on at McCormick Place in Chicago.
Yeah.
So things like that. And there's kind of
So for
some,
doesn't know who anyone who's outside of Chicago, McCormick Place is like our Javits Center in New York. It's like a
yep.
huge conference space. They're turning into a hospital really quickly. So yeah, go ahead, just in case people don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Sorry. I always just like talk Chicago. I do our Chicago talk, so I'm like, oh, okay. But so like situations like that where, in this case, they are just doing polished concrete. So for flooring, they don't really need anything. But there's other things around that are turning into like stations, and they needed some different smaller quantities of flooring and wall protection, like ASAP. So when we get the call from the GC or the flooring contractor, it's like, okay, find whatever stock. We don't care what color, but we need to go. So things like that. And then honestly, I've seen a lot of education projects just kind of, I think they're kind of waiting for, certain states are kind of waiting for like them to say the official school year is over, and then they're going to jump into construction right away. So I think school work is probably going to pick up quicker and sooner than we typically see it. Usually it's like right as soon as the kids get out, then the schoolwork starts. So
Which
that's been altered.
because like you just don't think about that, but now is if you have the capital, now is a great time to renovate if people are not in the buildings. Like, and people are definitely thinking that way and moving on it.
For sure. And then just side note is a lot of home fitness, right? So we're all stuck in our houses.
I wouldn't
I've
have
been,
thought of that. Okay, making home.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I've been getting a lot of emails from the lovely design community that is now trying to figure out how to work out at home, and kind of like that's just like a really random little thing. But my colleagues and I kind of have been laughing, like, wow, everybody's like getting fit. It's kind of inspiring to me, like get your butt off the couch.
Totally. That's
Like
the one of two ways. We're either going to get quarantine bodies that are like really spelt, or like if you're like me and have had some wine and some cookies and some like the kitchen snacks, it's going to go one or two ways.
yeah, yeah, I think I know which way mine is gonna go.
Just tell people, make them guess. Maybe
Right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I look like after this.
you're up most of the time.
Right, exactly.
No,
Yeah, it's still like hoodies, sweatshirt season, so I'm okay right now.
I have like a nice top on and then I have sweats on, so nobody can see back here.
Yeah. I'm totally wearing Lululemon leggings right now and a crew neck sweatshirt, so I'm still kind of in my Friday lounge wear.
You're up. All right, cool. Well, just is there anything else you think from the flooring side that you're seeing maybe change in the future or come up or come out of this? Any creative ways you guys are working as a company? Just kind of future stuff. What's going on over there?
I mean, I think in terms of flooring, I think people are going to be a little bit more inquisitive about hygienic features and all of those types of things that typically like healthcare and a lot of education will talk about those features. But I could see like workplace, corporate kind of diving into a little bit more of the information on that
So
on products.
about like how we haven't been doing that. Like now we're starting to look at those like gross features that we're like, we should know about this.
Right. And I think that kind of goes along all, product category types. But I think that will be something that is changing. How frequent we can is or infrequent or what that looks like. So time will only tell. But I will say the thing I was Friday mornings we do a coffee chat, open-ended like Zoom meeting where you can pop into our company Zoom and just grab your coffee, and there's like 2 free hours to just jump in. And I will say the silver lining to all of this for me has been connecting with my colleagues that I get to really only see once a year at our sales meeting. But my fellow salespeople and people inside the office that I literally see once a year, I've really gotten face to face with them and just checking in on everybody as a whole. Like the, I don't know, the like team and family vibe that we have has been so supportive and really what's helped to get me through a lot of these really, really weird and kind of scary sometimes and kind of sad sometimes moments. But,
For sure.
you
Okay.
know, it's just been good. Good family at Spartan.
I love that. And it is fun, like even on the calls we've been doing across the country to like be in people's homes and like see their kids and their dogs. And like you really do look at people a lot differently. Like I've always thought of people like no matter what level they are at their company as just another person. Like this is, person to person. But when you see their like bedrooms, then you really know.
Oh yeah, I've been learning some things about my especially my female colleagues. I won't mention any names. There might be one that's watching right now. Um, I've been learning some things about my colleagues that I'm like, wow, like we just went there. Okay, that's fun.
I feel like there are no rules, and it's like a really good time to like just be yourself.
It's very fun. It's very fun.
What's one cool thing as a rep you've done like during this time? I know you were doing some really like cool like quarantinis and fun things like that. What are some other cool things as a rep you've done with your people?
So definitely yes, the quarantinis with Kelly. Just like some little coffee break catch ups. And then I've been trying to encourage my Instagram to like be a little bit more followed, I guess. Is that like I want people to follow it a little bit because I'm just using so much. Yeah, like come on, followers. No, but just for wine and cheeses, I've been trying to promote following my Instagram, and then I put your names in a hat and somebody gets some wine delivered to their house. And it's been a very positive feedback from the community. So it's
Okay.
just a little, but
Jessica, if you're watching, make sure you put our name in that hat. Um, cool. So, Kelly, what's one weird thing you've been doing during quarantine personally? Let's get personal now, Kel. What's a weird
okay, let's do it. Well, the weirdest by far thing I've done in 2020 is TikTok and being Carol Baskin for the TikToks.
Okay, if anyone didn't see Kelly as Carol Baskin, and Kelly, I don't think you should be offended that you're a really good Carol Baskin, but like you are. You're a great Carol Baskin. You did a great job on TikTok. It was really good. You really like went there.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like it was one of those moments in my life where I was like, is this happening? Like, am I really doing this right now in my house by myself? It was like a Wednesday at like 4 o'clock.
Oh
You
my God.
know, it was just weird. So that's the weirdest thing, just because that's not like,
For people who haven't seen Kelly as Carol Baskin, she nailed it. She had like the leopard print outfit on. We reposted it on our site. Maybe we'll have a little repost that.
oh, great.
TikTok has legs. I think it can live on.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't think I'm gonna live it down for a while.
No.
But whatever. I mean, if it made people laugh during a really kind of weird time and people needed a laugh, then
It'll be your
I did my job.
for sure. For
Okay.
sure. Besides Tiger King, are there any other shows or books you'd recommend people watch or
Yes.
read?
Reading Untamed,
Untamed.
Glennon Doyle. And how cool is the cover? Just
Yeah.
looks great.
People have read
So,
Untamed. That's a great book.
yes, reading this about halfway through. I need to catch up. Would highly suggest that one.
Oh,
Um,
comments, Katie. Katie says she wants more. She wants more Carol Baskin. So
God. Okay.
people to
Oh,
your Instagram. You got to give
oh,
people what you
jeez.
want, Kelly.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what this weekend drums up.
There's lots of content to work with there. So I'm
There is. It's just like it's pretty embarrassing, but that's okay. We'll figure something out. I'll work on it.
It's good. It's good. Okay. So besides Untamed, any other shows?
I just finished Chernobyl
Okay.
yesterday on HBO.
People
Really good.
about that. Can you describe it just really quick for people?
Yeah, it's pretty much on HBO. It's kind of the real historic events of what happened at Chernobyl in like the Soviet Union with a nuclear radiation kind of explosion and all the effects that happened there. And it's
Interesting.
intense. It's intense.
Which is
Yeah.
good because I feel like people are either wanting to go lighthearted and just like laugh, or they're wanting something intense so they don't think about like any, turn your brain off for a little bit.
Yeah. And another one that was really good too, is McMillian. I think that's also on HBO. That was good.
Okay. Someone else recommended that. So, okay. Millions.
Yeah. And totally different sides of things, but I enjoyed those. So
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say to kind of close us off here? Like any Kelly's final thoughts?
let's see. Well, I don't know. I just everybody try to stay in good spirits. The sun is actually shining here right now, so I'm probably gonna in about an hour put on some tennis shoes and go for a walk and get my vitamin D.
There you go.
Um, but yeah, I just, lean on each other, support everybody, reach out if you want Carol Baskin videos. I'll send you links. um, but it honestly just, I think, reach out to your community, everybody, because it's really what's helped to get me through this. And I think we're in a fortunate, the A&D world is pretty tight knit, and we are definitely going to get through this. And I'm just hopeful and ready for this to kind of all pass and everybody be healthy and be ready to get back to work.
I agree. And if you guys don't know Spartan Surfaces, honestly, this is our first year working with them officially. We freaking love your company. We love Spartan Surfaces. Everybody in Spartan Surfaces, all the reps we've worked with so far. I just think you guys are great people. You really do care about people, and you're just a cool brand. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about what we can all do together. So
Yeah. Thanks, Tara. Yeah, we are ready to work with you guys too. We just want to get back to normal so we can do some more dinners.
totally, 100%. Can't wait for the dinners. And I'm going to work on my TikTok game this weekend because your TikTok game is crushing it. So,
Okay, well text me so then I can post your video. We'll
I
just
mean, I
repeat
can't
favors.
throw basket like you can, so I won't even attempt. And I'm not going to do any of the other characters, let me tell you. So I'll try to think of something different, and then you can repost it.
Okay, sounds good.
All
I'm
right,
all for it.
Kelly, I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.
Okay, all right, you too. Bye.
Bye.